Hey, I'm Grant. Welcome to episode 6 of Digression Bar, test episode.
I'm Andrew.
So, Andrew, what's up?
What's up? Just got back from work.
Nice.
Yeah, we have this special going on for chicken, 8 pieces for $6.99. So naturally, people are losing their shit and wanting that all the fucking time. And we have 2 fryers, and we're constantly just running through that. And people are mad when there's not the variety of chicken they want. It's like, this is a special. We are putting them out as fast as physically possible, and you're still going to be bitchy.
That my equivalent at my job is people sending me several emails a day being like, hey man, how come you haven't merged your Git branches yet? How come you haven't moved over? Because we're moving from SVN over to Git, which is like a subversion system. So, and I keep explaining we're having errors. It's going to take 2 hours. Don't email me. But they keep emailing me it's not the same person. It's not harassing. It's just more several people are all waiting on this one thing and they all individually email me. It's it's coming. There is a progress bar in the site if you want to watch it. But until that, I can't do anything. So please stop emailing me. So that was what mine was. And then I got on call next week, which is always interesting because it can either be really terrible or not at all.
I don't know. One of the things that bothered me today was this one guy. So, fried chicken was obviously the one that people go for the most of all the chickens, right? You have the smoked, baked,
right,
and obviously the fried. We had 2 pans of fried that we were trying to have to keep it stuff up, but we still weren't being able to keep up with the demand. And one guy's not liking he kept on laughing, which was really annoying me. There's not much, or and so when are you gonna have stuff on? I'm 10 minutes or something like that. Saying that's way too much. And so why isn't well, we've been doing it constantly for a certain amount of time, and it takes half an hour to do it, and it takes half an hour. You're the only ones that take that long. In my head, I'm no, fuck off. That's not the case. You just don't see them when they're going through that much. It's right. KFC. It's well, they might have 10 fryers or whatever, because that's basically the thing. The thing.
Right.
I can't. Or at another Hy-Vee, it's well, at the other Hy-Vees, do you go at the same time? I don't know, but fuck off.
It always amazes me, some of the stories that have come out of us working there, and I want to save some because Jamie has an amazing story about, I think, last Thanksgiving when she worked, about a guy who came in. So remind me next time she's on, when we do our next podcast. She has a great story, but I want to let her tell that. So I'll move on to topics. I'm going to go a little out of order here, but so first off, I'm going to bitch. I have a problem with my bathroom. I don't know if you noticed that. Is you turn on the faucet, everything's fine, and then it's after 2 seconds, it stinks. I don't know what it is. The water stinks.
I have not noticed that. Also, I don't have the best sense of smell. I think from all my time in swimming, my nose is slowly just kind of numbed.
All that cocaine? Yeah. All those crazy parties.
Actually, no, not for me, except for my brother. He actually hated his swim team. And there were times there was some shady shit going on with the coach and kids and partying. Shady shit. At
this point, I don't know what to do because I don't think it's an issue with the actual water. As far as I can tell from what I've researched, I think it's an issue something might be in the drain. And then that's every time it gets wet, that's when it stinks. But I haven't narrowed down. I have a couple ideas. The closest thing I know is I'm going to try pouring baking soda and vinegar down. That's what a lot of people recommended to kind of flush it out. But it's I've had this problem for a month, and it's just kind of I need to deal with that.
Can you describe the smell?
It's not bad. It's not something's rotting in there. It's just weird. We can go. You can test it after this. It's not terrible. I'm not going to gag.
But I know that, but I'm just
I brush my teeth over in the kitchen sink.
Just is it semi-sulfuric? Is it?
I don't know how to describe it. No.
Okay.
I had to figure out how to deal with that. So this is my cry to the internet. Tell me what is wrong with my pipes. But it's also I don't flush anything down that sink. And it was something that happened after that, I moved in here. So it wasn't pre-existing. So what would be in the drain? It doesn't affect the shower. It doesn't affect this sink. I have no idea what this could be.
Well, my thing would be are you sure it's not a gas also as well?
I don't think it is, but I'm gonna go shopping tomorrow. I'm gonna get vinegar, and we'll see how that goes. But I just wanted to bitch because it was like, this is perplexing. I don't know what to call maintenance because I don't want to be like, I have stinky water. I'm going to be insane.
Well, first off, I'm sure an easier way to figure out if it's the drain or not is to plug the drain and then run the water.
I've been meaning to do that, but I've been lazy. I've had other stuff to do.
Because that I'm sure that'd be way easier than the baking soda thing.
I think my fish is fucking with me. He's throwing stuff in. That must be it.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you want to go to next? We have conventions, robocall, fire argument, or Xbox. What's your topic of choice right now?
I'm curious about the fire argument.
Okay, this is good because this is specifically for you.
Oh, really?
Long-standing debate that I still say I'm right for. Is it incinerary or incendiary?
Incendiary.
It's incinerary. I still stand. It's incinerary. I remember we had this argument over like Halo 3 because like the grenade, where it was like, oh, well, it's weird that the grenades are called that because it's supposed to be incinerary. Like, no, it's all incendiary. And I remember you like broke out like dictionaries, like it's incendiary. I insist it's still incinerary, even though I have absolutely no evidence of that.
Actually, that's not. It is incendiary, and I recall we were doing warehouse for Boy Scouts. We were doing the scouting or the Boy Scout popcorn. We'd do the thing and we'd go like, oh, we're going to the warehouse and all the fucking other Boy Scout troops were going to come and we were going to give them the popcorn that they ordered because they think they were going to sell the stuff. And we were one of the troops that go like, okay, we're going to go and help deliver the pallets and whatever, it was fun. It was also kind of annoying, but it was like fun and annoying at the same time. I don't know how to describe it, but I was talking about something in Halo 3, talking about like the incendiary grenades. And you started laughing at me like, you're fucking stupid. It's not incendiary. It's incinerary. Like, no, it's not. And you and Alex and a bunch of people started making fun of me. And then I went like, no, you motherfuckers. It's not incinerary. It's incendiary.
It comes from you throw the grenades and they incinerate. They are incineratory. I don't know.
Incendiary.
I'm mixing up now. I don't even know which word it is. It's it doesn't have the D is my point.
Yes, it does.
And I admit there is a lot of evidence against me, and I have no evidence for me, but I am right. God damn it! And I insist. Even though every time I see that word in any game or I always see it in games. It doesn't come up anywhere else really. It's always I'm like, this argument comes back up to my mind. It's incinerary, not incendiary. Damn it! That was just my little callback to that. It's just like,
okay.
I don't know why. But I wanted to bring it up because I thought you were going to get a kick out of it.
I
still think about that to this day, that it's not about incinerary versus incendiary. So, I don't know. There was something I was playing recently where this was very important. I think it was Resident Evil 4. I think you can get incendiary grenades. It's like, oh yeah, I need a podcast topic. Save that. So, otherwise, that was just a small topic. So, the main thing I have there is conventions, all caps. And I want to talk about conventions because you went down to one. You went to RTX, right?
Yes.
What year?
13 and 14.
Have you been to anything else?
Well, kind of. I went to Quest Center. I think it might have been CenturyLink by that time, but I don't remember. It was Central. Remember when? I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, so that probably was CenturyLink. There was a little thing, nerdy thing down there, and the actress who played Keeley from Firefly was there, and her husband.
Not the consort. What's her name? What's her position called? She's like something with a C. That's like consort, right?
Keeley was.
Oh no, she's the engineer. Okay. I'm off. I haven't seen that show in a long time. It is like I try to watch it on Netflix with Jamie, and it's like really low quality. Jamie's very picky about what she watches, so we didn't make it past that. I think she literally fell asleep during the episode. So sadly, no. But I asked because like I've been to two, but they were like stuff for my work, so it's nothing like fun. I went to I think it was called Young Professionals in Omaha or something, and that one was not that great because it was all just like almost like just took these random events and they stuck them together with this glue of, oh, we're gonna have a convention for young professionals, but it's not any specific like profession, it's just everything. So all the panels were just like, here's how I started my nonprofit. I guess that's relevant to you, but it was just really them talking about their history. Or there was a debate between like the mayoral candidates that was really like had nothing to do with anything. And the only good thing that came out of it is they had a reporter from NPR that came out that gave a really good keynote speech. That was awesome, but that was like 30 minutes out of a whole day affair.
Keynote speech about what?
He gave it about stories. And that's a little bit hard to describe, but it's like the whole point of it is, so he talks about it because obviously he's a reporter, so he tells stories. But it's the same idea. Like I'm reading a book now called Primal Branding. It's about branding yourself, your company, your like social media. It's all the same idea. So, and like it's the same idea as he was talking about, where really what people want is like this kind of story. And he identified in that book like different key components of that. Or I've always heard like in the YouTube space, every time you make a video, even if it's just like a how-to, it's always a story. There's always kind of like an intro. There's a reason it's happening. There's a conclusion, stuff like that. And so he just talks about that general idea. But I'd have to go more into that. It's very vague. It's just more of a kind of an idea about how to structure stuff. So like even if I'm going to make a how-to video, you structure that as a story. Now, it's not necessarily a story like, okay, I'm going to write an intro, an outro, literally and all that. It's just kind of this idea of there's a reason why you're doing this and what have you. So, yeah, that was good. And then the other one I went to was Nebraska Code, which was a great convention for software developers and a whole bunch of awesome panelists. Like I went to a guy who showed you how to use screen readers, basically to make your code like accessible. So if someone's blind, it'll like, this is how it parses your code and how you can make it easy to understand.
So if someone's blind, how do they read it?
The screen reader reads it. And so text to speech, basically.
Okay, yeah.
But it needs to be able to read your code so it can play the right audio. So you need to set like your user interfaces up in a certain way that they're easy to parse with like a keyboard and stuff like that. Or I went to another one. He was a lawyer and he would talk just about like patent law and trademark and all that.
I remember like maybe half a year ago, there's an update and all of a sudden, like I was doing something, did something with my controller, then all of a sudden the narrator turned on. It was fucking creepy. I didn't know how it happened and it was annoying. And I figured out when you hold the guide button, I believe it's what it's still called. Mm-hmm. And it brings up the thing where you can hit like turn off controller or turn off Xbox. Yeah. If you hit the equivalent of the start button while that is up, it turns on narrator mode.
Okay.
But I had no idea. Like it's a little like offside thing that says like hit this for narrator. It's like, well, I have no idea what the fuck. And it took me a while to figure out why it was on. And it almost sounded like the male like Australian Siri almost.
I've actually heard that the narrator for Xbox is very good. It's like actually a big part of the system if you use it. It's very awesome and very good at doing what it's supposed to.
Like I mean, it did what it was doing. It's just creepy and annoying for me because I didn't want it.
And this came up because I would play Gears like with a guy who's blind, or sightless as you always say, and that's a big deal. Is like he can only play things that the narrator interacts with, which is all Xbox One, but not like the 360 emulation on the Xbox One. It can't do that because the code's not for that. He would talk like, oh, I'd love to go play Gears 1, 2, and 3, but he can't go through the menus. Whereas Xbox One, it's the first like console he could. And it's supposed to be really good. So that's actually why I went to like that panel, because I was like, oh, this is really relevant. And like I'm sure down the line they'll get to a point where it's like, I know how to incorporate a screen reader into my stuff. That's useful. Or like he would talk about how he would be forced to use like Windows Movie Maker when he would edit his stuff. He has a YouTube channel. It's Sightless Combat with a K. And he would talk about how he has to do all his audio live because he can't sync it at all. And he's very limited because he only can use Windows Movie Maker because that's the only thing that Windows has a screen reader for. So like even though like Sony Vegas might have tools that are useful for him, he can't see them. He can't find them. So it's no use, even though theoretically it'd be great if they just had one guy who made the screen reader for it. So that was my tangent. But going back to conventions, I want to go to a convention. I want to go to a fun convention. But I'm torn because I'm impatient. I don't want to go like drive down to Texas or like fly to San Diego and then wait in a line. And that's my issue.
That's what I feel like in this day and age, you can't go to a truly like good convention that isn't for something new. Mm-hmm. Because RT, essentially, the bigger they get, the more, the smaller amount of things you can do. I feel like, like I feel like that seems counterproductive. Like, oh, if they have more things, you should be able to go do more things. Like, there's a possibility for you have more options, but you can't go do more things because there are more people, and it just gets bigger and bigger. And it's like, okay, so you add like 5 things, but you gain like 500 people. Well, that's still like negative room for you to go do things. And I remember there were certain, like, one of the greater things I remember doing at RTX was sitting in on the podcast once.
Oh yeah,
that was good. I really liked that. That was great. But there were other things, like I remember for like the Ruby season 2 panel or whatever, because that's where they like show the first part for the new Ruby thing that doesn't come out for like another month or 2.
Right.
You had to be there like 5 hours early if you actually wanted to get into it. So that means, like, just to go to the one thing that lasted about an hour, maybe a little over an hour, it meant you took 6 hours of your time.
Yeah. See, like, that's something that kills it for me. And the thing is, I don't necessarily care that much about if I wanted to go to like the major stuff. I'd be okay with the small stuff, but it just seems like I would just go, and either I would have to spend my time doing all this like smaller side stuff. Like, I would have no issue going down to San Diego or Austin and just be like, I want to go to awesome restaurants or go to like the local, I don't know, attractions anyway. But then it's like, why am I going there during the convention if I'm just going to do that? Or conversely, it's like, I think this might be a case-by-case thing. Like, oh, there might be a year I want to go to whatever convention, and I could totally like plot my way around panels I still like are still irrelevant. Because I know, like, what I found is the reason I didn't like the Young Professionals convention compared to Nebraska Code is I wanted some kind of panel that had like takeaways versus like, I don't know, fanboyism. Like, I don't particularly care to see like a personality in person. That doesn't do anything for me. But I would love to see more of a discussion like, this is how this was made. This is why it is the way it is. That kind of thing matters more than like, oh, here's the new premiere. So I don't know if maybe like I will go, and then it's like, oh, well, all the panels I want to see are all the smaller ones anyway, because I can just go watch podcast one in a year or something. But I just don't know. I'm really afraid. Like, I don't want to put down like all that time and money and then go there and like, I paid a lot of money to wait in this line. It's like, damn it.
Well, the only thing though about the like podcast though, at least for me, was like, for instance, I'm not a concert person. I don't like concerts because, or at least in person. And then, another thing, people like services like, oh, watch this concert from like 30 years ago or something like that on your like this one thing. It's like you can watch all these concerts for like, the whole part of being in a concert is being in the concert. Watching the concert from your TV is like just watching a low budget music video.
On that topic, can we say fuck live tracks on like CDs? Why do they exist anymore?
That's stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid. I don't want to hear it.
But going back to like the podcast thing, the other thing is though, okay, they always have questions at podcasts. Like, do you like want to go up and like ask a question on a thing? Like, it's a possibility of something you can do if you go to a convention in person.
But then I have to listen to the questions. Like, I've been going through like that all like the RT podcast recently, just because like as I edit and stuff, listen to it on double speed. And that's honestly like the one thing I skip is like the convention questions, because they're always terrible. Always terrible. And like, I'm just gonna,
I don't know. So a lot of the questions I feel are entertaining, because the answers a lot of the time are good. I feel like not necessarily the question itself mightn't be great, but it's always what they say in response.
And I think that's part of like the talent and the skill of like putting on those panels, is that even though like you would usually, okay, well, you're saying this question, but I'm pretty much sure I know what you actually wanted me, like what you mean by this. And here's the answer to that. That's a little more interesting. Or here, let me segue into something else, and kind of like working that out. I think that's something that's definitely on the panelists to work on and improve. I just know that's something that comes up a lot. You went, I've seen stuff, and I want to go to a convention, but it does seem just like a big bet, and I don't know if it would pay off for me because I would like to do more stuff like that, but I also don't want to like throw away like a bunch of PTO to do it. Mm-hmm. So I'm torn. I don't know, well, but maybe I'm just being cheap because I don't want to drive.
I remember, well, also at RTX, they always have like some sort of Halo thing, like with like legitimate Halo, not just like, oh, we're gonna play or do something in Halo because they're Red versus Rooster Teeth. They did Red versus Blue, but I remember I was there when they introduced like Thrashball in Halo 4, and then the next
that's
year,
Gears. Thrashball? You mean Ricochet?
Yeah, Ricochet. I'm sorry. Where that game where you had like, it was kind of like a bomb, but it was more like a sport where you like threw it around and stuff like that. It kind of became part of Griffball and Halo 5. But then I was also the year they announced the Halo the Master Chief Collection. And that was really cool. Because the Master Chief Collection also had Halo 2 Anniversary.
Oh yeah, okay. I was like, I had no idea what you were going for there. I was like, I would want to suggest it, but I have no idea.
But no one really knew about the Master Chief Collection to that point.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool when they revealed that. Like, that was another thing, though. Or it was like, oh, you're there. Like, sometimes you don't know, or you want to, I don't know. Also, but getting back to, are they worth it, and like size and stuff. I remember the first one, like they would have like signing or sort of like, oh, you want to go see, get the autograph of X, Y, or Z. Mm-hmm. The first year, we didn't get as many as we wanted, but just because like time conflicts between. Also, another story about that. But you still, like, if you wanted to, it wouldn't be like the hardest thing in the world.
Right.
The next year, there were so many people that essentially, like, when you knew that there was going to be a signing, you all kind of like herded in an area, and then the Guardians would essentially randomly choose who got to go and wait in the line. So it was a chance of you had to wait to maybe get to wait to be with them.
Yeah.
That's no, I don't want to do that. Like, same. I was lucky enough that I was able to get a couple, but it's like, no, this is stupid. Like, I'm glad people have fun. I'm glad, like, I know it gives them a lot of money at Rooster Teeth, but at the same, like, I want to do some. He's like, oh yeah, you get to, people like, you want to do like these 5 things, and over 3 days you get to do these 5 things. The rest of it is just essentially just empty, just waiting and talking to people. Like, okay, if you want to do the person, like, bond with people, and people do that, I'm like, okay, that's okay, but I want to do things, and if I'm just waiting around for so long just to get to do a certain amount of things, like, it's not worth it to me. Anymore. I
think that's my issue. I think really the biggest issue is the travel, because that makes me like, I have a huge investment already. If it was in Omaha, it's like, well, if I only want to go one day, then that's fine. It's not actually that expensive. But I don't want to like book a flight or spend a long time driving, and then why am I here? And then you almost can't even enjoy like the town because it's so crowded. But I just want to bring that up because it's something I obviously like, I'd like to go eventually. I'd like to do that stuff. But I need to figure out like an in. And I definitely think a big factor is who you go with, because then that can like make it its own thing. If it's like a vacation, if it's like, oh, well, even if this is a complete dud, we can still have fun. Like Jamie's sister went to DashCon, and she talked about that. The Tumblr convention, that was a complete dud. She went to that, and it's like, oh, well, yeah, it sucked, but I don't remember what town it was in, but like, oh, we just had fun in the city after that. It was vacation because she was still with her friends.
Was that the one with the ball pit?
Yes, it was that one. She had seen the ball pit. So, and maybe I can ask Jamie to tell any stories from that next time she's on.
But Jamie didn't go, her sister did.
No, yeah, her sister Ashley did. So I'm just totally torn because like I want to, but I almost wish there was something like local that was still on that level. Like I know Jamie says she's been to NebraskaCon, and there's a couple.
That might have been.
I think that's what you were been to. But I don't know. I'm curious because it's something where I don't think I quite fit that demographic, but there's certain things there I would like, or I feel like there's stuff like the channel I could go and do there that would be kind of neat. So that's the reason I bring it up. But yeah,
before I get off this when it comes to like to science and shit. Okay, motherfucker.
If you're gonna tell your story, you got to be heated and you got to be energetic.
13th. So the one you were supposed to come to, but your dad was like, nah, you couldn't go. So that'd be the first year we went.
Okay.
There was supposed to be 4 of us, but it just ended up being myself, Alex, who we talk about all the time, but he probably will never be on this, and an acquaintance from Boy Scouts named.
I'm gonna bleep that.
Yeah, that actually might be a good idea. As soon as I said.
Doesn't help if you keep saying it.
Well, I didn't say who the first name that time.
I was gonna bleep the last name because that's the one that matters the most.
Well, I thought you were just going to say the whole name. Like, let's call him Charles.
Start story over. Go.
Okay, so Charles was coming with Alex and I, and we went, and we wanted to get Bernie's autograph.
Okay.
And we were getting a thing where we kind of cheated. I'm going to come up and say we cheated because he was signing, and then we knew what direction he was going to go when he was done signing. So we put ourselves between where he was signing and where he was going to go. Mm-hmm. And he does the thing where he signs stuff as he moves, kind of like things. So we're not waiting. We cheated.
Okay.
I committed it, but it's not against the rules, and he lets us do it. So that's on him. And we're all doing the thing. I get a signed autograph from Bernie of one of the things, and I was really happy because something. I don't remember what I said, but something kind of took about, and sometimes she signs and was like, hey, and gave me a handshake. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And then Alex got his autograph, and he got commended by him because he was wearing one of his army shirts. And they're like, oh yeah, you're like, are you actually? And I'm just like, yeah. And it's like, oh well, thank you for serving. And I was like, okay, that was cool. So both of us kind of had special acknowledgement from him, but hadn't got his yet because he was taking.
You fucked it up, Charles.
I'm not good at this.
You just got to be excited. You got to be heated.
I know,
and it'll sound exciting.
And we're like, okay, so for us, for his thing, I'm not going to get an autograph for him. He wants to get a picture. We'll get a picture, and it'll be all 3 of us. And we'll all have our autograph, so it'll be the thing. Okay, we have a photographic evidence of us with Bernie, and it would also be 3 of us together on this trip because other than that, kind of just went off and did his own thing in the actual convention area. So it was basically just Alex and I walking around. Other than that, but then there was a 12-year-old kid, maybe younger, and his mom coming, and they also wanted kind of get an autograph from him, but the guardian wasn't going to let him pass. And I was standing right next to him, well, I have this autograph on this book thing, and I'm also going to get a picture here because said he was going to get us to do with. Charles said he was going to let us take a picture all together with Bernie. So I'm like, I don't need this. I'm going to offer it and asked if the kid and the mom wanted this book that I had Bernie's autograph on. And at first they're like, yeah, well, no, I mean, that's it's okay. We don't. I'm like, really, I'm about to get something else that I kind of think is more important to me. You're not going to get anything out of this part. You might not get another opportunity. So it really doesn't bother me. Here you go. I'm like, oh, that's great. I turn around and Charles is in the middle of taking a picture with Bernie by himself. And I'm like, what? And then Alex kind of cheats his way back into a picture by him. I guess Bernie just didn't realize he would already signed, because I'm sure you could run into him or a bunch of people, and then 5 minutes later or 2 minutes later bump into him again, and he wouldn't know, just because there's so many faces. It's just one person is I have that at Hy-Vee sometimes. I don't know if I talked to you today yet or not. Are you here for the first time, or did you walk away and come back?
Right.
And I feel bad if I do that. I'm oh, hey, how are you doing today? It's you already told me that. I'm oh, hi again. But so then Charles got his picture. Alex got a picture and an autograph, kind of. And I got nothing.
That sucks. See, I think that it matters a lot is like who you go with, because if you go with like the right group, it's theoretically awesome. Like I said, it almost doesn't matter what the convention's like because you're still hanging out with friends. But like there, it's like, man, why did we bring this guy? Because you had mentioned like at other times you told the story about how he was not the best like roommate or someone who drove with you. I don't know what you would call it, car mate,
Travel buddy.
travel buddy. He was like he ate all the food. He didn't buy any. He would always leave early.
God damn it.
This is your time to bitch.
So yeah, he said that like oh, we agreed upon like, hey, we're gonna go get food beforehand. Charles didn't get back to us right away, and eventually, like just the night before, Alex and I just went out and we got a bunch of food and pop. Next day, didn't contribute any of it. Got him the stuff. We so he didn't pay for any of the food. Yeah, and we thought he would eventually do stuff, and spoiler alert, no. Also, he was, by the way, he's older than us. I think we were 19 at the time. And he did not have a driver's license. So when it was the four of us, it was going to be great because it'd be you would drive for a little bit, I would drive for a little bit, Alex would drive for a little bit. Mm-hmm. But then it canceled, and then it was just me and Alex. So we had to take turns driving, and just got to be in the car. Also, we took my family's vehicle. So the understanding was, okay, and the etiquette, at least has been for years, I don't know if it's still a thing if it's a thing to millennials anymore, is that in car trips, the person that supplies the vehicle doesn't pay for gas. It's everyone else does, because you're considering wear and tear on the vehicle. And arguably, sometimes the wear and tear on the vehicle for great distances is actually more than the gas money, but you don't want to get into that. But so Alex pays for it once, then the second one was paid for it, and then Alex paid for it again, like because it was a long way to go to Texas, and then driving in Texas and whatever. Then he goes off, does his own thing for a lot of it, fucks me over with the pitcher. God damn it. I was livid.
And not only that, I hear he also took a cheese stick and he put it in the door slider. It's called a callback right there. Would that like set you off if that was his cheese stick and you found out about that? And years later, it's like, fuck me one last time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I'm not done yet.
Okay.
So he couldn't drive. Also, RTX is also a 3-day thing, right? Alex had an army deal that he could not skip out on. Mm-hmm. Like, because you don't do that in the army. It's called going AWOL. Right. That's not good. So we had to be back by Sunday, and which was the last day, which means we couldn't do anything on the last day. Right. On the way back, for like the first hour or so, kept on like bringing up the things we were missing that were going on, and we're like, motherfucker, Alex has to be back. We feel bad that we couldn't be there all 3 days. He feels bad, especially because he's the reason why we're not doing it. And you're telling us about all the things we're missing? That's a dick move. Yeah. Then also, so we all was like, okay, everyone make sure your finances are in order, because you don't want to be out there without money. Motherfucker, his card stopped working and he didn't have any other cash. So he did not pay for any gas or any tolls on the way back. He couldn't drive. He couldn't. But then there was time like, oh, we stopped to get something to eat. And he went off, we didn't. We stopped at a gas station and he went off and like got a Subway sandwich or something. I don't know how, because apparently he wasn't able to pay for shit. And then said individual was kind of like, Alex and I kind of started expressing our frustration on the way home on the later half. And talked about like he didn't pay for this or this or this, and he got real defensive about like food, like not paying for the food or the gas. And we talked about like, oh, well, I didn't think or like, I know like the gas is fine, but like the food and stuff, I didn't think I would have to. Like, motherfucker, you've eaten more than Alex or I, and you haven't paid for any of it, you asshole. And then later, like it became a thing. It's like, okay, fine, I'll pay Alex back, but I'm not going to pay you back. I'm like, why?
Makes no sense.
You fucked me over on so many things now. And then, so eventually he paid Alex back like $130 or something like that, when it should have been closer to probably $200 when it could take into account food, gas, being a fucking asshole. But I think it took him like 3 or 4 months to do it too. So it was just, I'm still salty.
I can tell.
I'm salty.
But see, I always hear like all these like great stories come out of conventions, but then stuff like that, and it's like I'm torn because like I want to go do that stuff, but it seems like it's such a big commitment when I could also like stay home, and I like to host stuff. You know, I could have a good weekend. I could do all this fun stuff. Like I have that fun idea for hopefully 2 podcasts from now to talk about Avatar. That's gonna be a whole thing.
Airbender.
But yeah, let's switch topics so we can get more on gear here. So one thing, this is what might make you feel less salty. So you get a call on your cell phone, right? It is a person trying to tell you, guess what? You qualify for this awesome vacation package. What do?
Hang up the phone.
Yes. So apparently that guy, they found out who that was. It was like one guy doing all these services. It was a dude in Florida, I think. And he has like some giant massive fine from the FCC.
Huh.
So yeah, I guess it was like one guy, and I guess, I don't know, they didn't say who he was doing it for, but the idea was he would send out all these like giant robocalls and essentially try to sell these services. And if you went into it, it's like, you qualify for like an Expedia vacation. And then you'd be like, yes. And then you'd be like, well, let me like connect you to this other travel agency that has nothing to do with it, and it's just going to try and sell you a vacation package. So guy got caught. And this was a NPR article, and they haven't said anything. This is just the fact that it went out, and they said, like, it is like a $200 million fine. And then there's this one line, like, he's expected to reply. And it was like, yeah, I think he would. I think he would say, like, yeah, I should probably go deal with that. Because otherwise, that's a lot. That sucks.
Or, like, I'm pretty sure that's prison.
I don't know, but so caught the guy. I don't know if he's the only guy doing that, but it's something like everyone knows about that, right? It's always the same exact call that everyone knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, dude in Florida.
Oh, that's good. But also, speaking of which, though, motherfucker, over the last 6 months, I've been getting calls very frequently from all different states, and like it's just machines, but machines that are getting way better at not sounding like machines. Mm-hmm. And motherfucker, Bernie Burns had a story on the podcast once. He talked about like, he was talking like, oh, this is obviously a machine, and said something, and like, and then all of a sudden the lady's like, oh, do I sound that bad? And it's like, oh shit, maybe it's not a person. And then like it goes off like talking about certain things. Like, honestly, I think it was a machine, but I don't know. Like that's these things are getting to the point where it's harder and harder to figure out if they're like, if it's being a machine and you can like just be an asshole, or it's like it's not a machine and you're just being addicted to someone they're doing their job.
See, I would just want to eliminate anyone that would call me, because like generally speaking, there's like only my parents. They're the only ones who would actually call me, or like if Jamie's gonna call me, she would do it through like Facebook Messenger or something. So I just want to get the point, because 90% of the time it's either wrong number or like solicitor, and it's just like, if anyone's calling me, I don't want to hear it usually. Like, it's very rare that someone's going to call me and I actually care.
Like, I've kind of just come to the mindset that if someone wants to get a hold of me and it's important, if I don't know them, they will leave a message. And then I can listen to the message and figure out, is this important or is it not? But when just no one leaves messages, it's like, well, obviously it's not important.
Mm-hmm. So I just want to get that, because I knew it was something that always like affect a lot of people, and it's nice to have like closure. It's like, yeah, fuck that guy in Florida. I don't have any updates, but I'll probably try and throw up the article. So, but yeah. So I wanted to get on topic of Xbox updates, because I feel like all the updates in like last several months have been stuff I've been wanting forever and not knowing it. So like they added the achievement tracker, so you can go in like on an achievement, you can hit like watch, and you'll say like, oh, you need get 100 kills with this weapon, and that'll like have a pop up on your screen showing you have this many like from the actual Xbox system, and that's amazing.
I did not know about that.
Yeah, it's there. It doesn't always work because it's up to the game developers to actually tie into that system.
Well, I remember a certain in Halo 3 ODST, and I think some of the other Halo games, they had that built into the game where it would show you your progress, and like after you got so much progress in an achievement of like overshoot or EMPing and then headshotting.
Right.
Was like a thing, and like every so many progress things would show you like how far you were in like how out of how many. Like, oh, that's cool. But again, that was something that was in the game.
And like Gears did that as well. And it always bugged me like if only more games did it. And like I said, it's up to the game to do it. Plus, obviously, like some achievements are just coded in a dumb way that it's impossible to track that. Like Assassin's Creed 2, they have that achievement for get the cape, and that would be 0 out of 1. Realistically, you want to see how many feathers do you have to get the cape. Yeah. But whatever, it's still an improvement. 2, they have now party chat where you can enable it so you have a filter so that whenever someone's talking in party chat, it'll put an overlay saying who's talking in the party. So like rating on Destiny, you can see Taken for Granted is talking right now in my party chat. And it's been so helpful. Like
in the party, what do you mean?
So like in party chat,
yeah,
it will show you a little icon with a microphone next to it, overlaid on your screen.
Right.
So that even though you don't have any of the menus open for the Xbox, you can still see who is talking in the party.
Oh.
Yeah. A really awesome feature. You can just go.
I thought you were talking about like you were in the party window thing when you had all the things, and then you could see who was talking because there's that
like
glow.
Glows,
yeah.
But no, now you can just see it like whenever. It's super helpful, and you can say where you want on your screen. Awesome. Also, I've been using LFG, which is looking for group. Mm-hmm. It lets you find groups, and I'm actually amazed. It's really awesome because they had to design a system that works, say, like the one for Destiny does, but for every game ever. So, like, obviously, stuff like Gears, Destiny, things you are obviously looking for group a lot, works well for those. That's straightforward. But it works for, like, any game. So if I want to say, hey, I need to find someone to go play Dead Rising 2, like Terror's Reality with me, that's very low demand. But you can say, I want to play it next month. Just go to here, hit I'm interested. It'll notify me. You can leave me a message, and then it will automatically, like, let us schedule stuff.
Okay.
I've been using that a ton for Gears, and it is so great. The only downside is it's like any other LFG site where really it's only as good as the group. It's like you go on the Gears' community is like incredibly like toxic because it's a very like anger-driven game. So of course there's a lot of people like, fuck you if you don't have like max cards, don't even invite. But it's like, you can't do much about it. It's the same thing like on LFG for Destiny where you go on, it's like some 12-year-old being like, must have completed the raid 500 times because I haven't done it before. It's like, come on, yeah, whatever, kid. Whatever. But it's just been amazing. I feel like they've been killing it. Like all these updates I would have loved to have like in the 360 days. And like I said, like it's too bad they don't do a better job of like saying they're out there. Cause yeah, you didn't know that. But that achievement thing is awesome. I used it for Darksiders recently, which I had a great interesting time today. Is I was on Amazon looking for stuff to use my audio interface with this. And I was scrolling down and I saw an ad for Darksiders 3. And I'm like, what? This ad is extremely relevant to me right now. And I guess you can get like $20 off of it if you pre-order. It doesn't come out till December 2018. But that ad was totally like, I didn't know that was a thing. Because like they had dissolved the studio, but I guess they brought it back or it's a different one or something. I'm super excited for that now. So that's how I was like tangent into that. Darksiders is great. You would love it. Because if you played Zelda, you can, I think you said you already had it. I would totally recommend it. Fast game, good achievements, great to play. It's got portals.
That you open and close yourself?
Yeah. Now it's a little bit different because you only have like certain surfaces, but they do cool things with it. Like one thing I like about their portal system is you can shoot portals through other portals. So you'll have like one room where you physically don't really have to move that much, but you progress the portal chain to where you need it to be. And then you eventually like pop one near you and then you go through. Or like in Darksiders 2, they have a portal that can send you back and forth in time. So it's like the same room in two different instances, and you have to move objects between them and stuff like that. Or you'll have to like set something up to like, this is going to destroy this in 100 years. Go forward 100 years. And then it's destroyed. It's a neat mechanic. Good games. I thought it's like, they're just going to leave it as whatever because they dissolved the studio. And like, they have a new one. Although I'm concerned it's going to be like them trying to like get it going again, and it's going to be weird and not like the right style. But I'm actually so excited. It all just was like one random ad I saw on Amazon for Prime Day or something.
Did they say what the protagonist was going to be?
It's going to be Fury. I think it is Fury.
That's not a horseman.
It's like a stretch. I don't know what the third one actually is, but
So it's not one of the four horsemen.
it is. It's just they have a different name for it, I guess.
So it's like because they have war and death. So there'd be either pestilence or famine.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'd have to look. I don't know. I haven't played yet. Okay. I'm sure they have an explanation of it. And then she uses whips and she's a mage-based character. But that's one reason I thought they might have dissolved it, is because war, that makes a very good protagonist for a fighting game.
Yeah.
Death, same thing. Famine, you can make it work, I guess. And the thing is, like, they had all these characters' designs done, and you can see them in the original Darksiders, but they totally, like, don't talk about those other two. So, like, you can see them in one cutscene, it's like, yeah, that's a chick. That's a chick with whips. What's her thing? Or they talk about, like, pestilence or famine, and whichever one he was, and he uses, like, guns. But other than, like, one or two lines to explain, like, where you, basically it's like, oh, this gun you get in this game is his, because we don't know where he is right now. It's like, that's it. And they just don't talk about that, because it's clear they don't have that done.
Well, my thing is that, okay, so pestilence is obviously just like disease, illness, other afflictions. How do you equate that to like a fighting game? It's like you're shooting them and they instantly get sick and die, or you shoot them and they get a rash.
I would see them doing it like a system of managing lots of damage over time effects. And that's how you build your chains. Maybe. But I think they're just taking like a small, like little, like, hey, we know we need these characters to be somewhat fitting and understandable, so let's make a little sidestep here or something. They probably have an explanation when the actual game comes out, but that's not for a year and a half. December 2018. So
see, pestilence makes more sense to me than famine. How would that equate? Famine is just lack of food.
I don't know.
Essentially, it's just like all the like crops and animals are dying. Okay, what does that fucking do with motherfucking violence?
I think they might have an out on it. If you play the game, 1GB2, there might be an explanation of what she is. That she's not one of the four horsemen, but something else. But you gotta play the games. We can discuss it. You can play that, then you can play the fucking Dark Souls 2 DLC, and we can talk about that, and it'll be freaking amazing, because that DLC is one of the best ones. Like that, all of them, but freaking Ivory King is an amazing experience. Totally recommend it. So get on that. And I'll go and play Resident Evil, which is awesome. I killed a giant alligator the last time I played it. It was an awesome boss fight.
Is that the one that scares Bernie?
No, because this one's like way more massive.
Oh.
This one's like the size of like Hyvie's kitchen and dining room. And you're like on a little rowboat, and you get your anchor stuck on it, and you have to like throw spears, but you're like getting flipped all around.
Okay.
Great game. Great game. I've been loving it so far because I really like the slow, methodical, like survival horror, and it's just fun to go through there. So I'm doing that one for my channel right now, but I have to go and edit it because I'm lazy. I've been too much work on the podcast. Which before I get to that, I want to talk about the future of the podcast and stuff, because we're going to get closer and closer to going to the real episodes, because this is a test episode. I'm planning on having about 10 test episodes, right? And then we go to like the real thing. That's when I start producing more stuff for it. But on the topic of more Xbox features, they added finally you can have your custom gamer picks. I'm sure you've noticed that, because now people have fucking like dumbass gamer picks all over. So, and I've been noticing that a lot in Gears. I don't know if that's relevant to you.
I haven't been, but that's because I haven't really like joined parties for people that much. I think you might be the only person I've like cognitively seen that is like actual image.
Are you going to change yours to something custom?
I wouldn't be opposed. I don't know what it would
Would you let me make you a custom gamer pick?
I would have to approve it, but yes.
But it'd be something like mine, like not specifically me, but like this is meant to be obviously relevant to my gamer tag. So it'd be something relevant to your gamer tag, and that's relevant to you and unique. But this is something I notice a lot because I do a whole YouTube thing, is obviously like stuff like your artwork is very important. It's very first impression. So it bugs me how like no one puts any effort into that. Like I'll go and play like Gears, and everyone's gamer picks are like the dumbest shit. And it's like, what the hell? And maybe I'm biased, because obviously if someone just has like a really cool custom Halo picture, I probably just assume it was a gamer pick somewhere. I wouldn't know it's custom. But when someone has like freaking like memes, or it's obviously a photo of them and that's not even like a good photo, that bugs me. Cause it's like, what is this? So far, no inappropriate gamer picks. So that's nice, but also no jokes of gamer picks either. That sucks.
No jokes.
No jokes. Like I talked about how I
Well,
go
they're
play.
memes.
Well, no, I go play.
Oh.
People would make jokes specifically about that. Like I'd go play Dota on Steam, and when you load in the game, it shows like everyone in like the
you
stack
talking
of
the
10
game
people.
thing?
Yeah, so they would like form pictures that kind of like composite.
Yeah.
and that was awesome. But haven't seen anything like that yet.
Well, how would that work for your gamer pics though? Because they're circles, and
Well, it depends on how they view them in the application. Like for the gears, it shows a square. So even though it's the greater thing's a circle, it mainly only shows a square.
okay.
And it would still like line up. You just need it to line up fairly believably. So it looks more like you're looking through 5 circular windows at something instead of like it literally lining up perfectly, I guess. I'm sure we're going to see it happen. It's just no one has done it yet. It's been a thing on Steam forever. Like I know there's a site you can go to for Steam that you can just upload a picture and it'll spit out like the 5 sub pictures. So, but yeah, I want to try making a gamer pick for you at some point. I'm going to do because I want to do graphics for this podcast. I don't think they're going to be on this one because this one has to come out a week from now. And right now, based on my timer, it's going to be really long. And I always hate myself when we go over time because it's like it takes like 8 times the length of the podcast. So like every minute more we go, I have to edit like 8 times long, 8 minutes more.
How long have we been going?
What time are we at?
I don't know.
53.
Okay, so we're okay. I thought you were saying that we were going over time now.
No. We're
Okay.
fine. No, we're fine. But I wanted to do some like design anyway for that, and I figured, I think I actually have a couple ideas for you. I want to do something with yours, either spelling out your name or do like a really like a stylized T, and then for like the R, you could do like a protractor. Not protractor, the angular one. Protractor is the round one.
Angle.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. That thing.
I think it's called an angle.
An angle? It's just called an angle?
I think so.
But anyway, I want to do something like that and see if we can compress it so it's all like stylized and unique. Because it's been interesting. Like I guess I don't advertise my gamer tag, but obviously my gamer tag is the same as my Twitter, my YouTube channel, and I think that's it. So occasionally I'll get like people on Xbox Live will like send me a message and stuff. But ever since having custom gamer picks, I've had people go the other way where they said like, clearly you have like a thing for your gamer pick. I'm going to look up your name. Like I was playing Gears last Sunday and I've had that like 3 times. And it was like, oh yeah, I do that. Like, because they would like look me up and they're like, oh, I found your YouTube channel. It's like, okay. It's public, so I don't have an issue. But it's like, that surprises me that people just Google me like because of that. Like
That's never occurred to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't ever think to either. But I guess for some people, it's obviously like, oh, this is someone. They have a custom gamer tag that one isn't stolen, isn't a shitty meme, and just doesn't look terrible in general. Clearly, they know what they're doing. I don't know why. It doesn't happen like all the time. Like I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna go get recognized. But it's happened occasionally online. I think the first time it ever happened, I was like playing like OSRS, and there's a dude who just watched my Dead Rising videos. He came up to me. I was like Barbarian Fish. He's like, is your name Grant? It's like, yeah. Do you make YouTube videos? Like, I do. And it was like the most random place because it was like me and like him and one other guy were in this one spot on the one world in the game, and he recognized us like how did you find me? That was really weird.
I remember when we were doing our
OSRS blind.
Yeah, and like someone like, oh, hey, Andrew's here, or something like how did they know? like
it's surprising.
Yeah.
Or I feel bad like. So you save clips, right? You go like save screenshot or save that on Xbox?
Yeah.
See, I'll do that accidentally because I don't know how to actually do it. I just know I do it accidentally all the time. But then I looked at my like app and like I had like one with like 3 likes and I watched it. It was just like the Gears of War menu because I was trying to like go into a party and I guess I took like a screenshot. It's like, who are you people? Are you like a bot?
It used to be that you had to kind of like double tap the guide button really quickly, and then it would go out and they'd say hit X or Y to take a clip or Y to like take a screenshot. And then they changed that semi recently to where when you're playing the game, excuse me, and you just hit the guide button on the top of the screen, it says hit X to take to make a clip or Y to like hit.
I think it's a paddle. So I hit guide and then I set my controller down and I hit X on my paddles. I think that's what does it. Or what's worse is it's happening a lot because I've been playing Gears with my microphone. And for some reason, I don't turn off Cortana, who's like the AI assistant, like Alexa or Siri. But she'll think I'm talking to her. But God damn it, she like lit up over there. But I'll be like talking to someone like mid raid or like mid inconceivable on Gears, and she thinks I'm talking to her, but I'm actually talking to the party. But I can't stop and tell her to stop listening because that would just derail everything. And literally, it got so bad. She was doing like a Google search, and she like popped up a Google window of like the dumbest shit. And like, it's like, you searched. Like, oh my God, I'm down. Please res me. It's like I don't fucking stop. But I wish I could mute the microphone so I could fucking talk to her, because now I can't see half my fucking screen, and I'm going down. So it was like really critical. But Chris, like, is this what you want? It's like, fucking no. I can't tell her not. And I didn't. There's no like button combo because you're still in the game, so you can't hit anything to get fucking rid of it. At least I don't know how. And I could turn it off, but I always forget until it happens.
I didn't realize you could talk to her through your mic.
You can. I mean, I don't think anyone ever does. Because who would just have a mic on? Because it looks terrible. I hate those mics. I wish I could plug in like this, literally this mic. Then I would use voice chat way more often, or I would just have it on.
You hit the mic for the headphones you use?
What? Yeah, it's because it's just those. It's a cheap plastic one.
So the headphones used for editing aren't.
No, the mic, the headset I had to use for chat. Yeah. That's just an Xbox One.
Oh.
Like, I can plug in my headphones to listen to the audio, but for like that.
So there's no microphone on those head at all. Okay, see, I have.
Well, yeah, even then it didn't want to work with the Xbox. Maybe theoretically I could plug like this in and try it, but I thought about like saying just like, do you guys just want to use Skype for party chat? Because then I can eliminate, I can simplify my setup. The audio is way better over like a Skype or like a Discord, but no one's going to do that in like random lobbies.
I have a Turtle Beach headset that I think it's Turtle Beach. It's not a great one. It's a good one. It's not a great. I think it was like $50 when I bought it, which is kind of low end for Turtle Beach. But Turtle Beach is generally pretty good. But I don't think I've ever talked to Cortana through it. I don't know if it.
You have to like turn it on, and I think there was an update where you could. I was like, yeah, of course I'll use that, because honestly I've wanted like a Connect just for the microphone, because that seems like super helpful. And the only other way to get that is this microphone. No, I need to turn it off, but I keep forgetting. I need to go do it after this. I'm going to turn off Cortana because it's never useful. I like the idea that you can Google search without leaving the game and like just say like, oh, look up a guide to this, and we'll just play like right next to your game. And you could keep doing it. I like that. Never actually been useful so far, you know? Or like,
not only has it not been useful, it's been counterproductive.
Yeah. But it's like so mad because like I can't yell at Cortana because I'm still like at a point where I'm talking to other people. But if I mute the mic, I can't talk to her. So it's like, it's frustrating, and I don't know how to get rid of it. It was a whole fucking thing. And so eventually I think I had to die, and I was like, guy, okay, X. And then she'll just stop talking. I don't even know what starts it, like, because I don't say Cortana. It just happens somehow. And it's extremely frustrating. It happened a whole bunch the other night. Just like, God damn it.
I don't know.
I've been playing a ton of Gears of War for like the speed runs, because I don't have to do that much. I can just edit my videos. But I don't like talking to people on Xbox Live if I don't know them. Like,
I don't either.
Just people I met randomly through Xbox Live. Anyone I met through like Twitch or the YouTube channel, they're always fine. But I don't know. Some of Gears community, not great people. Definitely not someone I want to have like a chat with. Just because it's like constant like bitching about like the smallest thing, where it's like, and you can tell usually like it's always like the one guy and everyone else in the party's fine. Like I was doing one before he like came over here, and it was like a thing like one of the flying enemies like got past are like automated sentries that are supposed to kill everything, and this dude's yelling like, why didn't no one tell me that? It's like, well, Steve over here, he called that out 2 minutes ago. Yeah, but I didn't hear it. It's like, well, maybe that's on you, man.
Yeah.
And they're like, no one wants to say it because it's like, this is not worth it, but just, we need a fifth person. So, and I remember just like, there's a ton of times like raiding, which is like managing the party is its own like thing, like trying to diffuse situations.
Yeah.
Or like, is anyone having trouble? Oh, my side's really easy. Or like, how about, I feel like I would do better on left side, knowing that's the guy that sucks, and you're just going to swap with him. And that's how you make it happen easily, instead of being, yo, Steve, you suck. Get the fuck over here. So it's like its own little skill is managing the logistics of those parties. And it's annoying having to do that, but I guess like worth it for the rewards.
And sometimes I feel like, I remember when we were doing Wrath of the Machine, it was my first time. Yeah. And it got to like there were parts where I thought I was doing my stuff correctly. I didn't think I was like, oh, I'm just fucking up. I thought I was following the directions like to a T. And like, no, there's like something very important that I didn't understand conceptually. Like, oh, like I appreciate that someone like if you're empowered or something like this, like why weren't you doing this? Like, well, I was empowered. I was over there. I was doing what I'm told to do. Like, yeah, well, if the other side doesn't have empowered people, but I thought you said that you weren't going to switch between sides. Like, yes, but okay, fine. There's one example when you can't. I'm like, okay, well.
People are terrible at communicating and explaining stuff. And this is the same issue I had at work recently. So I like to do like programming and stuff at my work. And one thing we've done lately is mob programming. And we had a mob programming for what's called a coding kata. And that's basically is like you have a program that's really simple. The whole point is to just go through the motions. So like you program a bowling game that's all text. So you type in like roll ball and it'd be like, you got to strike. Really easy stuff. And like particularly with the kata, listening to like some people, like they don't like know necessarily how to communicate. Like they're not like saying stuff that's wrong, but just be like, hit that thing. And, or like, cause we have it up on the screen and like on a laptop. And it was amazing to me. Someone like the person directing them's like across the room and then the other person's at the laptop and they'd be like, I'm looking at this right here. And they point at the laptop. It's like, what? Like they can't see your laptop. They're across the room.
Hy-Vee.
Yeah.
When people like point at things like, I want this. And there's a case. And which is not 100% transparent 360 degrees. It's like, either it's like, okay, I think I know what you're pointing at, or someone's like, oh, what is this thing over here, without really describing it. So I'm like, oh, I can't, because I'm on this side. Like, okay, I have to like open it up and like look to see where their hand is, and then like, okay, so they're pointing down there. Okay, that is X. I
don't get it. I guess it's like a learned skill. Like I remember we played one of the times we filmed the version, I think, or it was the time we tried that Left 4 Dead drinking game. I don't think I ever put that out for sure. But we played Keep Talking and No One Explodes. Yeah. And that was a good example of like people who know how to communicate and who don't. And you can tell okay, when I'm doing, okay, I see this, and you just kind of keep talking and giving more info. And then the other people are like, just hold on, like, what was it again? It's like, tell me anything. Just start reading it and I'll figure it out. Just like, and that's the same thing when like working in that coding kata, where it's just like, I feel like just like keep talking, keep giving information, or just like how you present stuff. Just like, it's frustrating. And I don't know why. And you see it all the time in like Destiny raids. And usually I think it's people who like probably don't have like that background. Like if you don't do a skill where you have to like explain to someone who's like not in your profession a lot, you might not have like that skill to communicate how to properly do a raid. Like I feel like the biggest issue is people don't explain it from the top down. They do the bottom up. And I think that's not how it works. Like usually if I explain a raid, it's like, we want to kill Axis. We do that by doing this, and we achieve that by doing this. And that usually makes more sense than saying, okay, we're going in there. There's going to be a room. There's going to be a boss. There's going to be these bombs, and you got to throw them. But not if you're unpowered. Then you have to figure out what side you're on. But don't move from your sides. Yeah, that's right. If there's someone on your side who's empowered, then one of you switches, and it's just like you easily just lose it. And it's like, no, I'm getting heated. I'm getting like spit on my mic. Damn it.
And I remember like back to the Axis thing. I got confused because they only wanted to tell me things while they were relevant to the stage. So like they're just like, okay, for this part, just remember that you have to do this, and then we'd get to the next part, and then someone would be a dick and activate early, and like, oh fuck, we're going now. Fuck it, we're doing live.
That's big pet peeve is that people just can't fucking sit still.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Or it's like all the time because I'll edit. I'll just like put my controller down and I'll like edit. And this will be like between waves and horde. Literally, this is 20 seconds. And I'll controller down. And it's like, that guy isn't rolling everywhere and shooting his gun in the air. Clearly, he is AFK and we should kick him. Or they're just like, hey, are you there? It's like, yeah, I'm still here. Here, I'm on mic. I've gone nowhere. It's like, oh, well, you seem to AFK. It's like, does that matter? We're just waiting. We're waiting for this guy to get back from the bathroom. Do I really need to be jumping around? If it's amazing, like the small amount of time it takes for people like, hey, are you still there? It's like, yeah, fucking like, calm down. Or just like the fact that like in the raid, a lot of time, the way you start the next one is you walk somewhere or you shoot something.
Right.
And everyone's like, I'm going to shoot around it. And then inevitably you shoot the thing. It's like, God damn it. Okay, everyone's suicide. Or, oh shit. Guess what? That wipes all our supers. So now we have to wait again. I don't get it. It's frustrating. I get like maybe I'm the exception because everyone else is probably like sitting down like, this is my hour to play a game. I'm going to interact with the game. Whereas for me, like I know I like speed runs because it means I don't have to play the game in a weird way.
A lot of times I kind of like I a lot of times in a game, unless I'm like specifically doing something while I'm playing, I like to interact in some way or another. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna shoot her out. Like I'm gonna tempt fate here. I'm like, okay, what's over here? What's like I want to go look at this. This doesn't activate anything, right? No? Okay, so I should be okay. Also, what's over here? Like, or someone's like, I want to talk to someone. So like in game, actually, if I know who they are, go and look at that person in game. Because I don't know, I feel like that's slightly more personable. Like, I'm clearly trying to talk to you.
Yeah. I don't, it's always just like these small little things. I don't know why it aggravates me so much. Like when they come up to you and they try to like push you, well, because your character's like AFK, I'm just like, I'm still here. I'm just, okay, I jump. And they're like, do it again. So I'm just going to jump in 30 seconds when you give me the ledge again. Jump.
Well, okay. I'm one of those people that like to do that too, but just because it's entertaining just to do it. It's like, it's not because I think you're AFK and like, this serves you. It's like, oh, you're clearly here and we're having fun, but you're not paying attention at this moment. I want to see how far I can get before you do something. Either I go all the way, it's like, haha, I did this. Or it's like a game to see like, okay, I got him like 5 feet closer to the edge this time. I'm going to see if I can get him like another 2 feet closer before he does something to me. I don't know. And I feel like, because if I succeed in doing what I'm doing, it doesn't hurt the game because we're waiting anyway. And
some people will do it to hurt the game.
Yeah,
that's the thing that's annoying. Is I think is like you can have those swords in Destiny, and the raise lighter, the fire one, can like launch people on your team. Like it doesn't hurt them, but it's got like force. And I remember that we'd go do like jumping puzzles, and then this guy would like knock people off. It's like, well, thanks. We need all 6 people here to open the door, so now we're just waiting for him to respawn and do the puzzle again. Why? Do you have nothing better to do with your night? Or like the other one that always annoyed me is I helped a guy grind some levels on Borderlands 2 on 360 because he messaged me because I guess he found my YouTube channel and he saw something. It's like, okay, I'll go help. And that was fine, but it reminded me of all the times I'd go play Borderlands and amazed that it's like these people invite me to their game. And all they want, apparently all anyone does in Borderlands 2 is they sit in Sanctuary and they cancel travel menus. Because it's like, we have 4 people in this game. No one wants to do anything. Inevitably, every single game always ends up in Sanctuary and they won't let anyone leave.
Yeah.
But it's not like they're doing anything and it's not like they're trolling. It's just like, why are you playing this game? It's almost like, I don't want to commit to playing my game, but I kind of want to play a game.
Right.
And just like, I don't understand why every single game I played online with Borderlands has always devolved into that. And it's like, what the fuck? And it was like a huge pet peeve when I played that a lot. It was just the fact that it was always Sanctuary. You'd go there, and for whatever reason, the host isn't doing anything, but someone would like keep canceling it. Or someone different each time would cancel it. But not like cancel, like, oh, cancel. And they close the menu and open it again. It would just be like, oh, cancel. Oh, I just decide right now, after 10 minutes, now I'm going to check out my guns and sell something. It's like, why? It's clearly this is a trend. Why is this a trend? But it was so much fun. I was on that guy level, and I have my 0 decked out to be like my awesome like grinding one. So it's like 200% movement speed, regen grenade that just like kills everything in the area. So I'm literally just like flying through, being like a wizard, and like zap, zap, zap. Everything's dying. I got him through like where angels fear to tread all the way to Jack when you kill him in the warrior in like no time flat. It was great. So yeah, but I told him like, I'm not going to grind you to level 72. You should just use Gibbed, so we don't have to waste our time. And you can just
what?
Use Gibbed. It's like a save editor you can use on 360 and PC and PS3. So you can just edit your save file for Borderlands 2.
Oh, okay.
Super useful. I used it for when I did my OP runs because OP, it's like basically a Borderlands 2 raid, and each time you do it, the enemies get harder and it goes up in a level. But the issue is, if you want to do it like and not have it be a huge pain in the ass, you basically have to go get all your guns every time you go do it again. So like you go beat it, you're still level 72.
What do you mean?
So you're level 72, you beat it, and now you have access to OP level 1, which is basically level 73, but you don't get a skill point.
Right, okay.
So if you want to not do it with the same guns, because now those guns are weak, you have to go refarm all your legendaries.
Okay.
So because I had a 72 conference call. Well, now if I want to do more damage, I want the OP1 conference call.
Okay.
And as you get further and further, you basically kind of need that gear. Because since you're technically not 73, you're still 72. As you get to like OP8, there's something like an 80% damage reduction on all your damage flat out already. And it gets really tough. And you make do, because your gun's damage still goes up. It's just there's also damage reduction. So you want to do this. And I was like, I'm not going to go farm like 8 Lyudas every time, because I have like multiple different elements. It's like, I just go into Gibbed and say, okay, take all my gear, make it OP level 1. So it's the same gear. I'm not going to like make it have cheated values, because I don't even think you can do that in Gibbed. You just modify parts. So it's, okay, take this gear, bump it up a level so I don't have to farm. Go do it legit.
Okay. One thing I never understood, how did you do that though? You said you edited it. How did you do that in the game?
You don't. You save it to a USB stick, and then I put it on my computer. There's a program called Horizon, which will basically pull the save file out of the USB, and then you put it into Gibbed. You can edit it. You save it from Gibbed. You put it back into Horizon, and then you rehash it, is what it's called, and then you can plug it in, and it will recognize it.
Okay.
And it's really nice because it lets you, again, like, there's a lot of gear in that game that's just like, realistically, there's no way you're going to farm it. Or like, I farmed Lyuda probably like 100 times. I don't want to farm it anymore.
Which one was that one again?
It's the one that's Lyuda or the White Death. You get it from you get it from the showdown in the dust. And it's an amazing sniper. Amazing sniper. It's like one of the most central snipers you need for a zero. So you get it all the time, and I get it in like every element because you really want a corrosive one for fighting the loaders. You really want a fire one for fighting the human enemies. And it's a bitch to get every time. So now it's like, I'm just going to give it to me. Or like, honestly, like going from like 1 to 72 just takes forever. Even if I like speed run it, like using strategies, it still just takes forever to run the game 3 times. So it's much easier just like 72, unlock UVHM, and then go. So, but you can do some cool other stuff in there as well. You just have to like, technically there's stuff that's allowed in the editor that's not possible or good in the game. Like I know there's some stuff where if you don't realize what you're doing, you can like say, oh, I'm going to give this Jacob shotgun with all Jacob's parts, not realizing that technically that's not allowed in the game because Jacob's parts like subtract your magazine count, and it's possible to go below 0. And it's like, oh, I have amazing damage and stats, but I didn't realize this has a 0 magazine capacity. So that's why they don't spawn it in the game.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, it's great. You can like really toggle. Like I didn't know this, but all the way the stats work out are all based off the components of the gun you put on. So like if you have a Vladoff barrel, it'll increase your fire rate regardless of what gun type it is. And then if it matches the manufacturer, you get other bonuses.
I had no idea about this whole part thing.
Like you know how dolls burst fire? Yeah. The number of shots in the burst is the number of doll components. So if you have all doll components, it's like a 5-shot burst. And if you have no doll components, it's just like a 2-shot burst.
Okay, so what parts have you? You have the barrel.
You have barrel.
You have the sight.
You have sight, which affects zoom and just personal preference. You have, I want to say...
stock?
You have stock. You have... I don't know. It depends on the guns, I think.
Magazine?
I think so. I'd have to look. I think there's 4 components. There's a great guide out there on the Borderlands subreddit, if you want to go look for it, that like breaks it all down. Like, here's what every single thing does. And none of them are really overpowered. It's just nice because you can tweak your preferences. Like for sniper rifles, a big deal is like scope doesn't really affect much, but it's hugely important for like your preference on sniping. Like, do you want a close scope? Do you want a far scope? What do you want? Like that thing. Or just like a lot of times like, oh, I really like the sniper rifle, but I don't want the burst. So you just switch it to other parts. And that's very awesome to do. So heavily recommend. Only works on 360, PC, and PS3, but you can upgrade it. You can transfer your character from 360 to PS4 to Xbox One if you really want to. But it's very nice. I just use it to save time. I think you could theoretically give yourself like broken values or something. I don't think you can do it in Gift, but you could just be like, buy the game, instantly max level, and just power through and be like, this game sucks. But that's on you at that point. But I totally actually recommend it. And it's not really that hard. It's a little intimidating at first to find like an actual guide that tells you how to like get it off the 360, get it on your PC, edit it, put it back on properly, and get it in and get it working. But yeah, recommend it. Also, have you ever run Digistruck Peak?
No.
It is very hard, actually. Because you go do it, and it's just like, I don't know, like a league of enemies, like a ton of them, like one after the other, these trials. And then they just start replacing normal enemies with bosses. So like, go fight 2 Skagzillas at once. Go fight like all the assassins at once. And it's very difficult.
Now, is it like an arena?
No, it's like this long path.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll compare it more.
Is it kind of like the Elite Four in Pokemon?
Yeah. I would think of it like a strike in Destiny, where it's like you go here and you get all the way to the end, and there's a final boss that's unique to that area.
Okay.
And he has a very high chance of dropping Pearlescence in that game. That's how one good way to get is you farm Digistruck Peak.
Okay.
And honestly, it's a lot of fun. And just like, it's like the Borderlands enthusiasts aimed content. Like, it's not really meant to be story. It's just like, this is really good gunplay, really good gameplay. You have to really worry about your loadout because once you're in, you can't leave until you die. Once you die, you can snipe, but you can't go back down. And a whole bunch of other stuff.
So you're saying if you were like with a group.
It's meant for a group, but I do it solo. I always see Borderlands touted as a co-op game, but I think Borderlands is much better solo, personally. It just gets a little bit too chaotic if you add more people. Like, you have 4 people, I feel like it's just kind of all over the place. Whereas, maybe this is because I play Zero. I like being able to like control everything. So like I can throw my decoy over here. They're gonna mob that. I can go over here. I can melee my people in the back that I need to. That stuff. Yeah.
I feel like Borderlands, most of the time, it's fun to be by yourself. But there are certain points where I feel like it just gets so hard to be by yourself. Like there's certain areas depending on your.
Well, that's because
class.
you play Axton and Axton sucks.
I love Axton.
You don't understand Zero and even Krieg. It's a whole nother level.
I know.
Like literally, like I am not that good of a melee Zero, but it's like it's unprecedented. Like you one shot everything if you do it properly, and it's just like boom, 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 and you're cloaked the entire time. It's a entirely different experience. Same with Krieg. Like Krieg is playing another game. It's like when you play his character and level it up, it's like I didn't know Borderlands could be like this because he's entirely melee based. All the combo systems like way different. It's just an awesome character to play. It's like, I need to tank as much damage as possible, and it completely changes the game.
I know, but at the same time, though, doesn't that just remove the whole guns?
You can stat him in a different way, which is, it's the fire path, where you set yourself on fire, and that's gun focused. So you can do it that way, but if you're playing Krieg, that way is way better. It's like with Gage, you can not do the anarchy, but the anarchy is the best part of that character.
But isn't that just, like, increasing, like, damage, but reducing accuracy?
Yes, but you have to play in a certain way to keep your stacks. Like you can't go down and you can't reload your gun. Right. And then I think there's a couple.
But doesn't your like magazine get bigger and bigger and bigger?
That's one of the perks you can take, I think. So
I think it also has to do with you can't manually reload your magazine.
So
you can once you get to 0, it's not like now you lose it all. It's just like because I don't know. That's a I consider it a problem in video games. Whenever I get a kill or assist and I'm not instantly shooting something else, I reload. Mm-hmm. Instantly. Like, it doesn't matter how much ammo I have.
I've gotten better about that in some games. Like in Gears, there's a lot of times like I have like 60 bullets in my magazine. If I only fired 3, I should just keep firing. But yeah, that is a habit. So, but I don't know. I think it just depends on the game. Because some games like Halo, you pretty much always want to. Because even if you...
Active reload is a thing. So...
In Halo?
I was thinking Gears.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
But no, in Halo, in most cases, if you have another enemy anyway, you still need to probably reload your gun because you can only it takes like 60% of the magazine to kill one person a lot of time. So I've been playing Halo though. I've been logging out. I do Warzone each day at least. And that's fun. Yeah, I feel like it's not...
Wait, Warzone Firefight or Warzone Fight?
Heroic.
Okay.
One, yeah. I feel like though it's like really, I don't know if it's balanced because I feel like using the classic Halo weapons, I don't know if that properly covers everything it should. So like a lot of times I feel like if I don't use a card, I have nothing against vehicles. So like maybe I can find like a plasma pistol, but if you can't board and you don't have like grenades, I feel like I can't do anything. Or like sometimes I'll get like, I got a Hydra, I'm going to take out that Banshee. It's like, okay, I used all 12 shots. I guess I'll just go find another weapon because it's not down. And that bugs me.
I don't know if you started getting these, but certain weapons like so all of the quote unquote base weapons like Magnum, SMG, assault rifle, DMR, battle rifle. I think I might have said DMR twice, but whatever. There are a ton of variants for each one of them with different things like different scopes, like scopes for weapons that just don't make sense. Like for you can get an assault rifle with the light rifle scope. Like why is that a thing? It is.
What's interesting is though, like sometimes that helps because I always thought when I played Modern Warfare 2, I just want a sniper rifle with like a red dot sight. Realistically, why would you ever want that? But in that game, sniper rifles are awesome. I just want a sight I can use at close range because then it's a one-shot rifle.
Except this is the opposite. It's this short-range weapon using a long.
I've used that though. It makes it a little more long-ranged, so you can like sit and fire a little bit. I don't know why because if you get to the point where you can use that, I think you can use the battle rifle.
Right.
So I don't quite know the point, unless you could...
No, I think you use it right before you can get the battle rifle. But there are also other ones where it's just that they have stabilizers, so it just is more accurate in general. Like the bloom is not a thing. Like so, then it doesn't matter if you have the scope or not.
I just feel like it's weird because like...
But getting back to what I was trying to say is you can get guns that have damage boosts to vehicles.
I have one of those SMGs. It doesn't seem very. Like, it doesn't seem like a lot though. Like it probably is doing even like triple damage. But if you fight like a grunt mech,
Yeah.
it's
It's like
those mechs. It seems like they have. There must be something I'm missing with those because it seems like
the
I'm just
mechs
firing at the
are
cannon.
dumb.
Yeah.
Like they're just OP in my opinion. Like it's funny. Like I like the dialogue from them, but I just feel like all the other bosses are kind of like you're probably just gonna beat them. I feel like the Grunt Mech and Warden Eternal are the two that you may or may not have trouble on. Because with Warden Eternal, like stun locking with EMPing, plus when you're doing the one with the three of them, I feel like divide and conquer. You divide them up into but you're also divided. I feel like it's way better if you're going to do it. Okay, there's three of them. Kill one at a time. Everyone just aggro's one. You all kill that one because when you're fighting multiple, it's like, well, it's more likely that one person dies to this one, another person dies to this one, another person dies to this one, and then you have 30 seconds where they're out of commission. Whereas if you have everyone fighting one at the same time, it's less likely that one will kill anyone.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. But if you don't do that, it's like, well, we're probably fucked, even if you have great weapons.
Anyway, though, we are at time. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the rest of the digression bar as we continue this. So either this time or next time, I don't think I'll fit it this time because I'm out of town next weekend and I have to just get the podcast done. But I'm probably going to start adding graphics. And then I think we're going to start doing a little bit more of a dress rehearsal about this is how I'm going to begin it. This is how we're going to end it and stuff like that. So I'm hoping forward to that, but I have to actually sit down in like my editor and just like make that until I can find time. It'll take a while, but slowly going to be moving towards actually going to what's going to be the official format. Like, I don't know if you watched the one that came out today yet. I don't think you have yet.
I didn't know it.
One thing that I added in is like you talk about like different things like episode 1 of Star Wars. I actually have that clip that you talk about like next to your head. Stuff like that. So that's going to be a little, like more and more prominent so I can throw stuff up there.
Is that the one with the scrolling?
I wasn't able to find a copy of that. I just used one I could find off YouTube. So it's like, okay, I know what scene. I wasn't able to find the actual film grain. But so I'm hoping to make those effects so that I can easily layer them in and it doesn't take forever. So hopefully we'll do that. I'm going to work on an intro. I have an idea I want to throw at you for how I want to do the thumbnails. Because like right now I'm basically using the same thumbnail and updating the title just based off who's on the podcast, which has pretty much been just you, Jamie, and I, or just you and me in this case. So I have this idea. What I want to do is something like, I like the idea of, have you ever seen like Always Sunny? Whenever they announce a new season, they'll do these like photo shoots. And they have nothing to do with the show. It'll just be like the main actors and they'll make like a movie parody poster. Or they'll have them like all as like rock stars using like the colors of the show. Mm-hmm. Simple things like that. I'd like to do something along that lines where maybe we just take a Saturday and we just do like photo shoots. Like we just do fun stuff. Like I want to do something like, okay, I want to make like I don't even know, murder mystery-esque like movie poster. Have that be a thing. I want to do like a fake press conference. Have that be a little funny photo. And those be our thumbnails and also show who's on the podcast. That's one idea I want to try. And that'd be something we'd meet beforehand where we'd like cue a whole bunch of like, hey, it's Saturday. We're going to go out. We're going to do 10 of these dumb photo shoots. And that's going to be it. I'm going to try and develop a consistent intro, which I don't know. I don't necessarily like intros that much because I feel like it just gets old unless you update it a lot. And I don't think I have time to have a new intro every single week. That's not like either submitted by someone else or just really short and be like, yeah. But I'm all hoping to add that in the next week or two. Because again, I'd like to shoot for episode 10 to be the final test episode. That may or may not work. I think it'd be more likely that we might have one or two where we need like, now that we have the whole format down, we need to practice. But that's the plan. So, yeah. Any comments?
No.
So as part of that,
right now.
I guess. So I'm Grant. You can reach me on Twitter at Taken4GrantD.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Andrew. He doesn't have a Twitter, but we can change that. Well, we can change that when we go live. There's no reason you can't have it and like people can tweet at you. You can get all like,
true.
Hey man, you're so awesome. I totally agree with you. Star Wars Episode 1, best movie. And people can. Elliot actually says like, I need to be on the podcast so I can defend myself that Episode 1 is a good movie and that the BLTs do not suck. She texted me today because it came out for her today. She's like, watching, the BLTs don't suck. The BLTs are amazing. And I will come and I will defend these BLTs on this podcast. So that's the plan going in the future. I still have to work on. I want to do another like call-in episode and just work that out because we have a TV in front of us right here. I want to do a whole episode on how we make this too.
Maybe she'll be presentable though, so we can actually see her.
Well, she'll come back to Omaha at some point, but yeah.
I know.
To be fair, I like sprung it on her. Hey, can you do a podcast in like 30 minutes? Like right now, it's like, I guess it's like,
I thought you gave her hours.
well, it was like, I told her like, we're going to do it now. It's like, well, I won't be home until this point was what it came out to be. But it's like, she didn't have time to like set up. It really was like sudden notice. Whereas I knew the whole day it was coming that we are going to podcast, but we're over time and I'm going to have to edit all of this. So that's the plan. Hope to see you guys next week.